Right, that's it. We've got it now. I was having a little tiny bit of trouble with my settings on the phone. And this is what it is. I'm just moving the tripod a little bit there, trying to sensualize myself a little bit better. But my lips are not moving in conjunction with the video, so I can't do anything about that at this moment in time. But anyway, my name's Des, and my call sign is 2 Echo 0 X-ray Charlie Bravo. And this little video is about multitasking and what I do during an over. Now, when I'm giving an over, I normally mention perhaps several different topics. Doesn't mean you've got to come back and reply to 7 different topics. I'm giving you a choice, multi-choice, multitask. So I'm giving you a choice. You choose which one you want to come back on. And if you don't want to come back on one, choose one of your own. You see, the multitasking, it's a bit like, for me, it's a bit like buying a bag of licorice all sorts. There's all sorts in there. Is the favourite your licorice one or the multicoloured one? Or possibly one of them flat round ones with all them hundreds and thousands on. You choose. You choose which one you're going to heap first. Are you saving your favourites till last or having your favourites first? It's multi-choice, multitasking. And that's how I am when I'm talking, when I'm giving an over. But it all stems from when I was a bus driver. So anybody who's been on public transport will know you don't get on a bus and go from A to B. You go around the estates, you pick passengers up and drop them off, and of course it makes it easier for them. They get on where it's convenient, and you've got to go to them conveniences for them and pick them up. So you don't go directly A to B, or else the company would never make any money. And a typical trip, you start off, you load up your passengers and start the journey. And then you turn, and the moment you turn somewhere, that's when the action takes place. Remember, you're checking your mirrors, you're checking down the saloon on your passengers, and maybe upstairs you're looking in the camera, and there's a young lady there with a child, and the child isn't in the seat. She's letting the child run up and down the saloon. And of course I've got, excuse me, the lady with the child, can you keep the child with you? Because if I have to brake, suddenly that child is going to come flying down this bus and going to get severely injured. So I'm not being funny with you, but I'm telling you, keep that child with you. So remember now, I've just mentioned that child. Out the corner of my eye, there's parked cars coming up, and I've seen a woman with a pushchair. So I've got to be very, very cautious now while I go past. And these are what are happening while you're driving the bus. And it's similar when I'm giving an over on the radio. These things are happening continuously. And things come into my head. Somebody will mention a word, and a song will come into my head instantly. So a passenger might get on and say, can I go to Waterloo Road? And straight away in my head, Waterloo sunset, ah. Did you like that? Ah. I was like Paul McCartney then, wasn't I? So things like this are happening all the time. Incidentally, if you are a bus driver, you're doing that many takes inside that vehicle. You're checking this, you're checking that, you're looking in your mirrors, you're checking what's behind you, what's in front of you, you're checking what's happening down the saloon, you're looking at the instruments, how fast am I going, I don't want to get a speeding ticket. So you're doing more takes on what's happening around you than a fighter pilot will do. It's been proved. A fighter pilot hasn't got this much going on. We know there's lots of instruments on his instrument panel, but the bulk of them don't mean anything. Don't mean anything to me while I'm sitting talking on the radio. Multitasking. Wonder if that gives you a little bit more of an insight into why I give you multiple choices of subjects to come back on. But if you can't comprehend that, then I don't know what to say. As I've said, you haven't got to come back and answer them. Choose one or choose none, make your own. Doesn't matter to me. I'm giving you the choice, whether you choose to take it or not. So I hope that's answered the question. It's a shame there's not more little videos put up like this. You can have a good laugh at me. But I do need to address something before I go, but that's enough on the multitasking. Right. I am what I am. Another song. You're not going to change me. And if I break into song mid-conversation while I've got the microphone, so be it. I am what I am. Make as many complaints about it as you want to whoever. And I'm not going to take a blind bit of notice. The only people I will take note of is Ofcom. Nobody else. Nothing to do with you lot out there. What I do. If you don't like what you're hearing, you've got a button on the radio. Switch off. Switch off and don't make ridiculous comments about other people. Other AMs. I don't like what he's doing. Tough. You don't have to like what I'm doing. I am an operator, an individual. I am what I am. So I hope that answers you doubting Thomases. Now then, did you notice? I'm just looking at the clock here. It's coming up to 7.5 minutes. And I must add, you have not seen one, or you've seen none, you know. When you're telling a story, no, I'm afraid we don't know. You're telling the story, you tell us, we don't know. That's what radio is all about. I talk, you listen. Don't try and assume as I know what you're talking about, because it isn't always the case. And there's something else there which gets me down from time to time. All of us, I no longer do it. I wouldn't dare to do it, but all of us hear a voice on the radio and we've got this thing in the back of our minds. So you're multitasking, by the way, when you're doing this. Right, that voice. I've got this picture of this guy in my head. And in reality, I look nothing at all like what you're thinking. So don't do that. It's bad for your health. There should be a government health warning about doing them things. So up next, this may be the first of many videos. It may be the only video. We'll have to see how it goes. By the way, don't send me messages with ridiculous comments, because I shall just delete them. I want positive. Let's all be positive on this occasion. We're coming out of COVID. The country is no longer under lockdown, lock and key, although some people think I should be under lock and key. But of course, when I was in prison, and I was under lock and key, I would love to get some of you doubting Thomases with me under lock and key. You would crack up. You'd crack up after the first night. So it's 9.5 minutes now, and I'm quite sure I can make it the full 10. So right, HubNet world, I hope you've enjoyed this, and don't beat yourselves up about it. They don't call me one take Des for nothing. Cheery bye, and we'll catch you soon. Bye bye now.